The Houston Rockets have been a really disappointing team this year. They got eliminated in the second round in 5 games. This was really disappointing for a championship caliber team. Many people thought they would be underdogs to win the NBA championship, but everyone was wrong. The Houston Rockets were destined to disappoint. Even worse, Mike D'Antoni will not return for this team. Yes, I did say that I wanted Mike D'Antoni fired as a Rockets fan, but it will be really hard to get a really good coach back. And there isn't that good option for the coaching job. Even worse, Russell Westbrook has been playing terrible in the playoffs and will be 32 years old. You might say that is fine, right? But his contract is $40 million per year. That is a crazy amount of money for a 32-year-old. Even worse, at the age of 35, Russell Westbrook will earn $47 million per year. That is a crazy amount of money for a 35-year-old. Yes, that would be worth for a LeBron James, but this is Russell Westbrook. He isn't even worth that much money in his prime year. So why would he be worth this much in this year? You might be saying that the Houston Rockets could trade Russell Westbrook, but that is wrong. Trading a player isn't as easy as you think. Russell Westbrook's trade value is at an all-time low, and I don't think people understand that. That trade value is really bad. If you're willing to give up Russell Westbrook, a desperate team that wants a winning player would be like the Knicks, and you would get like Julius Randle or RJ Barrett back, I guess. No, that would be a terrible trade. Even though you're getting picks, that's just straight up terrible. And that would make the team much worse. Why would James Harden like playing with Julius Randle? And their coach, Mike D'Antoni, is fired. So let's answer the question, what is next for the Houston Rockets going into next year? This is a very difficult question. Let's first talk about which coach they should get. Sure, in another video, I did say I wanted Sam Cassell, but I didn't know about this coaching candidate named Kelvin Sampson. He is being slept on for the Houston Rockets job. Many people don't know him. If you didn't know who he is a coach for the University of Houston. He's had 5 winning seasons and in total has won 500 games in March Madness. That is a pretty good amount of success for him. But that may not be the most convincing. But what's even more convincing is that he's been a Rockets assistant coach under Kevin McHale. He had a very strong relationship with James Harden and Eric Gordon. I don't think people know this, but Robert Covington was undrafted and was picked up by the Houston Rockets. He had to say this about assistant coach Kelvin Sampson. I really needed to get better in the league. I was an undrafted player, and people were not going to take a chance on me. But Kelvin Sampson took a chance on me. He made me play better, and here I am now, Robert Covington said. So Robert Covington loves Kelvin Sampson too. He's had experience with him. These are many reasons why Kelvin Sampson should be the next head coach for the Houston Rockets. It makes a lot of sense. First of all, he's had experience with James Harden and Eric Gordon. He's also been under Greg Popovich as an assistant coach. I really forgot to mention that. If you didn't know, Greg Popovich is a top 5 coach of all time. That is crazy. That is just crazy, being an assistant coach under Greg Popovich. I think Kelvin Sampson is a perfect head coaching job for the Houston Rockets. Now that we have talked about the coach, let's talk about the Rockets players. As James Harden said, they're one player away from winning an NBA championship. Yes, I love Russell Westbrook and what he's been doing with the Houston Rockets, but I would like to trade him. Many would suggest that the Rockets should blow it up and trade James Harden, but he is a superstar player. Superstar players are very rare and unique. Let's look at the Milwaukee Bucks. Right now they have Giannis Antetokounmpo. They really don't want to lose him. Before Giannis was drafted, 49 years before, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was their last All-Star player. That is kind of crazy. So Harden is a superstar, and superstars are really rare. Even though the Rockets will get many picks, it will be really rare to get a player quite like James Harden. He is the Rockets' franchise player, and I don't care about the criticism that he's been getting, but I really think that he could be the best player on a championship team. He was literally a hamstring away. Now, I would like to trade Russell Westbrook because if you compare him to Chris Paul in Houston, it was really different. First of all, Russell Westbrook's weaknesses is what the Rockets need. That is terrible. Well, he's also been playing terrible in the playoffs and totally does not work with the Houston Rockets system or James Harden. He really can't play off ball, and Chris Paul can play off ball. When Chris Paul was in Houston, they almost beat the Dubs, which is crazy. The Dubs were healthy with Kevin Durant too, so that's also crazy. Chris Paul was able to shoot the 3-ball and was a really good mid-range shooter. He also was a really good defender. I do think Russ was a great defender for the Rockets too, but I just wanted to add that in. So, which player can be like Chris Paul? First of all, let's find a trade scenario for Russell Westbrook. Remember in the beginning of the video, I said that Russell Westbrook is not a tradable player? Well, this is the best option for the Houston Rockets, and I feel that it will make them better. The Rockets get Malcolm Brogdon, Miles Turner, Doug McDermott, Jeremy Lamb, and a first-round pick. The Indiana Pacers get Russell Westbrook and Robert Covington. This is a great haul for the Indiana Pacers, as they need winning basketball. A trio of Domantas Sabonis, Russell Westbrook, and Victor Oladipo would be deadly. If you didn't know, those are literally 3 All-Stars. And that is crazy. Having 3 All-Stars is really rare. Not even the Los Angeles Lakers, a really good team, has 3 All-Stars. Really, not that much teams have had 3 All-Stars. So this would be a great trade for the Indiana Pacers. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that Robert Covington would be a great 3-and-D player that they could add to their already great defense. So Robert Covington is also added into this deal. The Rockets will get Malcolm Brogdon, again, a really good three-point shooter and a really good at the mid-range shot. Then they have a stretch big who can shoot the three ball and also defend. That is really crazy. This could be the center of the team. Without Russell Westbrook, they could afford to have a center. And Miles Turner, in my opinion, is that. He would also be a great third option. The Rockets need some more depth, so they would get Doug McDermott, who could light it up from the three ball, and Jeremy Lamb, another good player that could be off the bench. The only thing about Jeremy Lamb is that he's injured very severely, but I hope he gets better. The Rockets also get a first-round pick in this trade. This would also be really good for them as they don't have too much first-round picks. Some relevant free agent signings the Houston Rockets could get is Joe Harris and Davis Bertans. Joe Harris is great on both ends as he's a really good defender and shoots the three-pointer lights out. Off the bench, he would be really good and help with the depth. If we get Davis Bertans, then he would also be a really good three-point shooter off the bench. He may not be as good as a defender, but this would help a lot with their depth. The Rockets severely need more depth. Ben McLemore and Daniel House just won't cut it. They need more scoring off the bench. Anyways, this is my opinion on the Houston Rockets and what their next step is. Please like and subscribe as you won't find better content than this. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love you guys. Road to 50K. Let's go, baby.